Negroes, do your duty.
Absolutely. That is what we're going to talk about today. And although some may even debate that the people that I'm going to speak on are Negroes, they are indeed melanated people. And they are people that have been propped up to be Black Americans. Although we know that Black Americans, African Americans, Black people, Black folks, Negroes, has been bastardized. And that's why today I continue to identify what we are legally classified as. You got to dig deep to find our legal classification because everybody thinks that we are legally classified as African Americans. Most people do, at least. Anybody who's really cared to think about it once, twice. Most people think that we are African Americans or we are Black Americans, but we are legally classified as American freedmen. And that is those who are the descendants of enslaved people. So I appreciate anybody that's going to check out this clip, The Trail of Tethers. And I know a lot of people don't like that term, and I don't care. I don't like what tethers do and who tethers are. So that's why I'm speaking on them today. If I have to break away, it's not because I don't want to do what I'm doing or because I'm not serious about what I'm doing, because I'm absolutely serious about what I'm doing. If I have to break away, it's because I am on grandpa duty. The grandbaby is here. The lady of the crew, I have 4 grandchildren, 3 boys and 1 granddaughter, and the princess is here, but she is, I think, okay right now. She's settled. She understands grandpa's recording, and we've got some things that we're going to be doing today, but she just happened to wake up a little prematurely from her nap, and we had to get her settled, or I'd have been in here and on a little bit earlier. Not that y'all were expecting me, because nobody ever knows really when I'm going live, because I've got to kind of fit my live videos into where my life is. The pre-recorded stuff, it just drops when it drops, but the live stuff has to happen the right way at the right time, and I've got to have the right setting. So the right setting is me getting her taken care of. She's settled. She's got a little bit of food. She's got a beverage. She's got her device, and she's going to let grandpa do his thing, and then we're going to get up out of here and go have some fun over at a buddy of mine and his daughter's house in a little bit. But the Trail of Tethers has to go off right now. And I've thought about this. I've thought about this for months. And the crazy thing is the situation that happened with the former University of Michigan football coach, Sharon Moore, just really kind of sealed its fate. I could have talked over and over about Barack Obama and Kamala Harris, but how many more times can I say the things that I've said about Barack Obama and Kamala Harris that y'all haven't heard or don't want or want to hear again? But this is new. This is absolutely a new situation, and where I'm at right now with it, I want to make sure people understand this is why there is a definitive difference between American freedmen, descendants of enslaved individuals, or Black people, or even African Americans, because Barack Obama is indeed an African American. He's from Kenya. He's from Kenya, and his mother was American, so he's African American. Now, Kamala Harris, she is not from Africa. She's from Jamaica or India, and India, not or and India. So she is neither an American or an African, but she's always been called an African American. She went to an HBCU, so they looked at her as an African American. They've looked at her as a Black woman, but she has been pushed into that corner of being a Black woman. She prefers to use the term woman of color. Now, I don't think she used the term woman of color when she was on the HBCU campuses. going about as an AKA. I don't think she called herself a woman of color when she was an AKA. I don't even think that phrase was coined back then, but I don't believe she looked at anything other than being a black woman because that's what she had to pose as at that time. So we come to Sharon Moore, who, like I said, he is probably the main reason I'm even doing this today because everybody's on him about being the first black head football coach of University of Michigan. And even I was under this guise. I was under this guise that he was a black American because I didn't have any reason to go looking at his history or go looking at his lineage. But when I did find out upon his demise that he was not an African American, he was not a descendant of enslaved people here in America, but he was from Trinidad, Tobago. Yes, his parents are from Trinidad. And they immigrated here and had Sharon here. So Sharon is indeed an American because he was born on American soil. But he is not a black American. He is not an African American. He is not an American freedman. He is not a descendant of enslaved people, but he's going to be looked at as a black man because he looks like a black man. But the one thing that I know he did not do, he did not act like a black man. Now, he acted like a whore, and I know plenty of black men that are whores. Hell, I was a whore in my day. So I'm not going to say that I don't know what a whore is, but I know what a whore is, and I'm being very proper about it. I'm talking about a hoe. Actually, there's a difference between a whore and a hoe. I was a hoe. And many black men are out there are hoes. I get that. I totally get that. But he was put in a position of power, a position of prominence. He elevated himself higher than he'll ever get again. That's crazy to know that his highest position in life came to him at 37. He'll never achieve the heights that he achieved at 37, now sitting at 39. He'll never, ever get to that level. He's done. He has peaked. He has plateaued. It is over for him. He'll get another job. Somebody will give him work. He's articulate enough. He's smart enough. He'll get another job. But he'll never be elevated to the duty that he had because he didn't do the duty that he was supposed to do. And that's all he had to do was just do the duty that he was called to do.
Negroes, do your duty.
Y'all gonna hear that a couple times today. Y'all gonna hear that a couple times today. I appreciate anybody that checks this clip out. Like I said, I've appreciated anybody that's checked out any of my videos over the years, but we're getting things a little bit more aligned now. And where I'm trying to be with this is I want to not only be a little bit more thorough in my message, I want to dig deeper in some of the things because I am very topical in what I speak on, but some people don't normally catch the depths. And I've got the creativity of AI going, and that's given me an opportunity to do some more things, to say some more things, and to be some more things in this content creation space. And we are absolutely going to do that. I appreciate you, brother, coming in here, brother Apollo St. Charles. Definitely give my best to your father. I know he doesn't know me from a can of paint, but we are pulling for the elder, and absolutely, we want to make sure that he hangs around for the 2026 campaign as well. So you be well and you stay in here as long as you can. If you got a dip, you can come back for the playback. But I appreciate you. This is absolutely what Sharon is, an anchor baby or anchor babies, because we've known people like this. They get in this country and they stay in this country solely because they were born in this country. But are they really us? And what we've learned over the years is that Barack Obama ain't us. Kamala Harris ain't us. And now Sharon Moore ain't us. And Sharon Moore said one thing that really sealed his fate. I never dug for it, never heard about it until his fall. And once I thought about it, I'm like, now I can understand his movements. Now I can understand the way he came off as this pompous individual, because he is indeed a pompous individual. I have no problem with him being who he is, but the one thing that black people are not naturally, and that's pompous. Foundational anchor, baby. I don't think there is such a thing. I don't think there is such a thing as a FAB, Brother Apollo. I don't think there is such a thing. I won't even let there be such a thing. Okay? I will not let there be such a thing. Don't say nothing else like that, because I'm going to have to bring out Aunt Esther.
What did you say, nigga?
Where we are right now is we want to talk about Barack Obama, because Barack Obama started this charge. Barack Obama made it a stylish thing to be black and be elected. He put a lot of people in play just by him getting in the paint back in 2008. Barack Obama got a lot of people elected. I've said many a times that the sheriff, who was the sheriff here in this county, Jerry Clayton, he wouldn't have became sheriff had Barack Obama not been in style. Barack Obama was in style, and we were coming off of a lot of great black mayors. Some went wayward. We understand your Kwame Kilpatricks and your Ray Nagins and different things like that. I get it, and we still got a few out there who have been hanging on. But it became a stylish thing to be black and be elected. And Barack Obama got to the highest heights. He got to the White House. He got to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And the only reason that he got to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue was because of American freedmen. Black Americans, African Americans put Barack Obama in the White House and kept him in the White House. He got it, and then he got reelected, so he stayed there as long as you could stay there. Barack did 8 years in the White House on the backs of black Americans. Plenty of white folks voted for Barack Obama, but without the black folks, Barack Obama wouldn't have did nothing on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue but been a tourist. Or he might have, he would have been a senator, so he came there every now and then, but he wouldn't have resided there without the help. And I'm talking help. 85, 90% of black Americans voted for him. Without that, then he would have never got anywhere near the Oval Office. Obama made it cool to be a left-leaning coon. Absolutely. He made it cool to lean with it. Lean with it, rock with it, to the left with it. He absolutely did. And I'm not here just shitting on Democrats today, because Republicans is just as fucked up out here too. Okay? Because then they decided they would go all the way to the other side, like, oh, they put that motherfucker in there, we're going to put this motherfucker in here. And now look at us. We started at the bottom, now we're here. But it all started with Barack going where he went, being who he was, and didn't do what he was supposed to do. And that was our problem.
Negroes, do your duty.
So I want to jump right into where I feel Barack Obama betrayed us the most. I just want to jump right into it. I want to make sure the audio is right. And then what I'm going to do when this plays, just listen to it, and then we'll come back and cook on it in just a second.
American community. Why not say then, this is for you. This is for African Americans. If there was a banking crisis, then you target money for the banks. If there was a national disaster, you target your money for the national disaster.
That's not how America works. We want to give those young people and young Native Americans like them the support they deserve. We have to invest in them and believe in them and love them.
Why not target the African American community? Why not say then, this is for you. This is for African Americans.
That's not how America works.
President Barack Obama has begun new initiatives aimed at helping young American Indians or Native Americans overcome the many challenges they face, from poverty to substance abuse.
Why not target the African American community? Why not say then, this is for you. This is for African Americans.
That's not how America works. And few have been more marginalized and ignored by Washington for as long as Native Americans, our first Americans.
I mean, just to listen to that, how can I not say?
Negroes, do your duty.
How can I not say it?
Negroes, do your duty.
And when he kept saying the same thing over and over, and then I'm just gonna go back 15 seconds. I think it's about 15 seconds. Let me just let you hear what he said here.
The African American community. Why not say then, this is for you. This is for African Americans. That's not how America works.
And few have been more marginalized and ignored by Washington for as long as Native Americans, our first Americans.
What did you say, nigger?
Forget the African American community. Why not say then, this is for you. This is for African Americans. That's not how America works.
And few have been more marginalized and ignored by Washington for as long as Native Americans, our first Americans.
What did you say, nigger?
To this day, when I hear him say that Native Americans are the most marginalized people on this territory, the original Americans, my blood boils. Now I'm much more controlled in my anger now, and I don't just get to cussing and this, that, and the other and throwing shit like I used to. But when I hear him say that, it makes me physically ill to know that this is who we thought was our first black president. Our first black president. Now, he wasn't our first black president. He was their first black president. He was the most acceptable. He was his color was coordinated, because they'll never ever, and I'm talking about never ever ever never 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 ever be a dark-skinned president. I'm telling you, in America there will absolutely be no dark skins in the White House. He lucky he got in there with Shelley. But it kind of validated him by having a black woman and have her be dark skinned. Because if he had came in there with her too light, then there would have been a color issue, and he definitely wasn't going to get elected if he came in there with a white woman. He knew that. That's why he got rid of the white woman and got Shelley before he got on the campaign trail. There's documents out there that show that that's true now. So I know a lot of people don't think that Shelley was really brought in afterwards. Yes, she was. Barack wasn't doing nothing but you know, I don't like to call them Becky's and everything like that, but that's all he was doing. Let's just be honest. Let's be real with it. And he knew he wasn't going to get in the White House with Becky. Maybe a Rebecca, you know, because, you know, we got black Rebeccas. And we got some black Beckys. But when you hear about Becky's, they're generally blonde, blue eyes, probably flat booties, but you know, it is what it is. Let's not call shots here. So anyways, what I want to do right now is I want to go back real briefly and just cut in each time to what he said, what they said he was doing with the Native Americans. Just what they said he was doing with the Native Americans. So let me get that. Let me get it again.
An American community. Why not say then, this is for you. This is for African Americans. If there was a banking crisis, then you target money for the banks. If there was a national disaster, you target your money for the national
I mean, they were really trying to like put us in play. And y'all know I've stomped hard for reparations for descendants of enslaved people. And Barack Obama could have put a lot of what we needed in play to where there could have been some reparative justice. But he did not. We're not going to go there. But when this person was trying to bring in some things and say some things, I don't know exactly who he was being interviewed by that day, but when he was trying to put those things into play and tell Barack, like, hey, why not put this forward and good faith for black Americans, you know, and show black Americans that you're doing something for black Americans, because, you know, you posing as a black American. He didn't say posing, but I know that's what he meant. Like, you're a black president. Like, why not? And Barack said, that's not how America works. When he said that's not how America works, I would have expected him to mean that for everybody. But America only doesn't work like that for black people. It seemed to like it was working for other people, but here we're just focusing on who he liked to focus on when he was in office. He had a total affection for Native Americans. And this ain't the shit on Native Americans, not one bit. Native Americans, who they are, they've been who they are in this country, but it is what it is. But you're not going to get me in here talking about the Trail of Tears. Not today, because we're talking about the Trail of Tethers. But you're not going to ever get me in here talking about the Trail of Tears because the Native Americans had enslaved people on the Trail of Tears. Who do you think cleared out the pathway on the Trail of Tears? Who do you think chopped down them goddamn trees on the Trail of Tears? Enslaved individuals. So don't get to me trying to be all soft about Native Americans. Native Americans enslaved us too. And they made deals with the white folks to keep us enslaved, to keep us at the bottom. So you ain't never going to hear me caping for Native Americans. Just like you don't hear Native Americans caping for us.
That's not how America works. We want to give those young people and young Native Americans like them the support they deserve. We have to invest in them and believe in them and love them.
Why not target the African American community? Why not say then, this is for you, this is for African Americans?
That's not how America works.
President Barack Obama has begun new initiatives aimed at helping young American Indians or Native Americans overcome the many challenges they face, from poverty to substance abuse.
Did you hear that? I mean, we've had a drug issue in the United States with Black Americans, African Americans, American freedmen for how long? I mean, we can just go back to the crack years, and that was in the mid 80s, but let's go back before that with all of the other histories that we have with narcotics that were pushed into our neighborhoods, obviously by white people. But let's not get into that. We don't need to go into that. Barack Obama got elected knowing good and well that Black America had an issue with drug use. What did Barack Obama do to focus on that for Black Americans? Nothing. What did he do to focus on it with Native Americans? A whole lot. A whole lot. All type of medical subsidies for them to be able to get treatments and things like that. But he did nothing for the Black community. This was a problem. And it remains a problem because he started it. And then it was continued by other people who got in play. And we'll be talking about those other people in just a moment.
Why not say then, this is for you, this is for African Americans?
That's not how America works. And few have been more marginalized and ignored by Washington for as long as Native Americans, our first Americans.
Our first Americans. Our first Americans. I mean, when he says stuff like that, it just makes me sick.
What did you say, nigga?
And I'm appalled that anybody feels that way. Because if anybody's American in this motherfucker, it's Black Americans. It's American freedmen. Y'all want to call them African Americans? Okay. Y'all the same people that still call the NAACP colored people. So I'm good with it. I get why some people won't say American freedmen. Apollo St. Charles, he identifies as FBA, but he knows he's a freedman. He knows that. And I don't hold nothing against him because I understand FBA and I understand exactly where FBA came from. Shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson and our brother Tariq Nasheed. Tariq took the name, no problem. Took it from Native Black American to foundational Black American, and he's done what he's done with it. I have no problem with that. I'm not going to be up in here name banging. But my thing is, it holds true for me that I know who I am. I know who I am legally classified as. And I also know who Barack Obama isn't. And he's not a freedman. And that's why he worked the way he worked. And that's why he continues to work the way he works. Now, moving forward. What up, Free? Moving forward, we got to go to Miss Kamala Harris Imhoff. I know she just uses Harris, but I don't disrespect Doug. She's got that man's name on a marriage license. She lives with that man. That man pays her bills. So I'm going to give her everything. Kamala Harris Imhoff. Kamala Devi Harris Imhoff. She married that man. She should have took that man's name. But no, she kept Harris because that Harris kept her black. Yeah, that Harris kept her black. And that Kamala, everybody kept telling she got that African name. That is not an African name. I wish y'all stop saying that's an African name. It's not an African name. You know, we used to do that on Twitter Spaces, Apollo. We used to do that on Twitter Spaces. We used to name bang. You know, there was the Freedman gang, then there was the FBA gang, there was the Negro gang, then then there was the ADOS gang. We used to name bang on the Twitter Spaces. We don't do that no more. We don't do that. We don't grew up from that. I think there's still a couple people out there name banging, but they lost in the sauce too. And then there was the pretendians, you know. You got the pretendians, you know, they can't get on a reservation to save their life, but that's okay. I know who I is, and everybody else know who they is, and some people don't know who they is. I get it. I get it. I totally get it. So, what we're doing now is we are going to move over to Kamala. Absolutely. I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking. So, Kamala didn't make it. She didn't make it. I mean, she got to the vice presidency, but that's not what she was striving to be. We know she tried to be president. Okay? She ran off. She ran off 331 days of a campaign and had to give up because she ran out of money. So one thing that tells me about Kamala that lets me know she ain't truly a black woman is Kamala don't know how to balance a checkbook. Kamala don't know how to budget and save like traditional American freedmen women. I've known plenty of American freedmen women who could get by just by getting by. Didn't have enough, never had enough, but they made it work. Got a whole bunch of hungry mouths looking at them and stuff like that. They can't stand in front of all them kids talking about we ain't got no money. Kamala had a bunch of money and wasted it all and had to stop her campaign 331 days in. See, I was back talking about Kamala well before y'all even realized who Kamala really was. But we had jumped off the wagon. Oh, yes, we jumped off the wagon. I mean, Kamala did a whole lot of craziness on that first campaign back in 2019 that a lot of people just don't know about. And the one main thing that people do know about was when she said she wasn't going to do anything specifically for black people. And I got all that. I totally got all that. And that was really where that was like one of the last steps I had to take. I was already walking away from Kamala before she even said that because I saw who she was out here and I saw who she wasn't going to be. She wasn't going to be for one of us or all of us. And that's okay. Because time after time, I just kept looking at her like,
What did you say, nigga?
and she just kept saying the same shit. And I was like,
What did you say, nigga?
and then it just got to a point where I was like, you know, she ain't going to do no better. So I ain't going to say nothing. I'm just going to keep it moving. I'm just going to keep it moving. But then Kamala, she came back and got brought in as the VP. Joe Biden brought her in as the VP because they told Joe, you're not going to get elected unless you put a black woman in there. So he went and got Kamala Harris. Of all motherfuckers to go get, Joe Biden went and got Kamala Harris. Now, he had Stacey Abrams out there. I ain't a real big fan of her, but she a real black woman. Then you had Nina out there from Ohio. Not a big fan of her, but she's a real black woman. And there was plenty of other American freedmen women that Joe Biden could have got. But the one thing Kamala had, she had that light-skinnedness. She had that light-skinnedness. She had the connection with the complexion. Because Kamala had already ran through the political circles, as she had got ran through in all them other circles. Yeah, Kamala humped her way to the top. She humped her way to the top. From downtown Willie Brown to Montel Williams. I think Magic hit it too. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. Because Kamala had Magic on the campaign trail, and Magic was out there saying some goofy shit, and Cookie was looking at Magic like, fool, what are you talking about? The only reason we out here, because I know y'all got a past. Cookie don't say much. She just show up to stuff just to make sure Irvin, still looks validated. But Cookie know Irvin hit Kamala too back in the day. She absolutely knows he hit Kamala. But that's okay. That's okay. Brother Bridges, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year. What kind of cereal you eat, Brother Bridges? What kind of cereal you eat this? What kind of cereal you eat this morning, dog? I need to know what kind of cereal you ate, dog. I really, really do. I need to know what kind of cereal you ate. You said at the end of the day, there's see, you're not gonna come up here and be vague. See, you being vague right now. You being vague. Brother Bridges and myself have this thing going on about knockoff cereals. He tells me that knockoff cereals are as good as the name brand. I've never ate knockoff cereal in my life. I grew up in subsidized housing. I absolutely did. All my people was poor. But the one thing I never had to be subjected to was off-brand cereal. If I ate Frosted Flakes, I ate Frosted Flakes. I did not eat no Frosting Flakes. I did not eat the Flakes. My Frosted Flakes was great. And we was looking at something online yesterday that said they're acceptable. And that's just wrong. That's wrong. I was looking at the thing. Chris Edwards put that post up, and I was like, I gotta tag him. I gotta tag him. So the crazy thing is, I'm gonna agree with Brother Bridges in all matters. Hey, look, be careful. Be careful, Brother Bridges. John Henry is light-skinned, so he's coming in here. He's coming in here a little conflicted. He's gonna agree with you, and you chocolate brother. So right there, just understand. He says he's siding with you, but remember he is light-skinned. So just understand how they can go, because he really gonna be in here caping for Kamala. Don't worry about it. Wait for him to cape for Kamala. He about to cape for Kamala. Don't worry about it. I ain't even started yet. As soon as I start Kamala stuff, watch all the comments that John Henry probably gonna put up. Watch. Just watch. So let's get going with Kamala Devi Harris Imhoff and why she only got to that position of vice presidency and never got over the hump, because she did that 331 back in 19. Then in 2024, she did another 107 days on a campaign. I don't know what they thought they were doing with that. I still don't know what they thought they were doing with it. I actually kind of felt sorry for Kamala, because she wasn't good in 331 days. What they thought she was going to do in a third of the time. They gave her a third of the time that she had the first time, gave her $2 billion, and she still didn't win. You just can't throw money at problems, okay? You just can't throw money at problems. And she was a problem, and they tried to throw money at her, and now look what we got. More problems. So let's go where Kamala, she literally derailed her whole campaign here. I thought she was already off the tracks anyway, well before she ran out of money back in 19. But this is where she derailed her campaign. And I know a lot of people have only heard a small bit of this. This is the whole thing in context. This is why really black people jumped off of Kamala's train. They didn't just jump off at the last comment that she's going to make, the last 5 seconds of what she's going to say here. They jumped off of what she said and the way she said it at first. So let's see. What'd you say, John? What'd you say? Mama made some slamming curry greens for the holiday. Bathtub greens. I know. She put them things in the tub and stomped in them like she was stomping in grapes in the vineyard. Yeah, y'all got them toe jam greens. Ain't nothing wrong with them toe jam greens. That's good. That's good. I have no problem with Kamala doing all the crazy stuff that she does, because it just lets me know more and more she's not us. She's not us. So it is what it is. Here is Kamala Devi Harris Imhoff in her splendor, and why she did not make it to the White House, and why she did not get elected after being put in position. No primary, no nothing. Gave her $2 billion in 107 days and said, go.
Do you support reparations for Black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the Lift Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits that Black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right?
What did you say, nigga?
Right? See, a lot of people have never even heard that part. They've never heard her actually say where she said, right? Because it wouldn't make sense if she just said, well, I'm not going to do anything that's just only going to benefit Black people and left it at that and then said, right? Because that doesn't give full context. You had to have heard the first part of that statement to really understand why she said, right? Because the interviewer was looking at her like, bitch, are you serious? Are you really coming off on like this? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the whole thing again, and I'm going to let you know this is where I fell off like day old bread with Kamala. Because when they want us and they need us to vote for them, they say we. But then we say, no, do something specifically for us. Then they say, no, we can't do that. What Barack say, that's not how America works. What she say, I'm not going to do something specifically for Black Americans. So just listen to the way she said it. She said, we. She said, we. She said, we. HT, I don't know. What's that mean? What's that mean? Gerard, what you speaking? HT, what's that mean? Her voice literally irks my soul. Okay. I need Brother Campaign to tell me exactly what that means. What he coming here with some sign language? Hey, don't come in here with no mess. You know we got stuff going on around here. We don't want this strike. We want this stream to get struck. So listen to her saying we. She said we more times than a French person. No, Gerard, you are not a Haitian tether. You are Haitian. You are not a tether. There's a difference between being Haitian and being a Haitian tether. See, you don't even know what tether means. But see, I'm going to break all that down once I get past everybody that I have to talk about today. I'm glad you joined us today because this is not about people of other ethnic groups. This is about tethers. People have gotten it all wrong out here, but I'm here to clear the smoke today. Just because you are from the Caribbean or from the continent, anywhere in the diaspora, and you've got melanin in your skin, does not make you a tether. It absolutely does not. But we're going to clear all that up again. Anybody else want to interrupt Kamala before she starts? Because I want her to cook, because I need to get her to talk in French for us. And then I'm going to stop her. Anybody else got anything to say? I have no problem to stop for the chat room. I don't get but 6, 7 of you in here and alive, so I want to be respectful. Everybody's talking on the chat. We good? Okay, let's proceed.
Do you support reparations for Black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination and segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country.
What did you say, nigga?
She said, we. Who's we, Kamala? Your people from Jamaica and Indian. Who's we? Your people never felt any of what we felt. She stayed up there in Northern California with a bunch of American freedmen. Some of their people felt what she's talking about. Many of their people felt what she's talking about because by 1965, there weren't that many of Kamala Devi Harris's around. There absolutely weren't. Jamaican mixed with Indian? Come on, man. What do you think the percentage of Jamaican mixed with Indians were in Oakland or Berkeley or San Francisco, wherever she was from up there? What do you think the percentage of them? 0.000000001. They were not in droves. They barely drove. Probably rode the bus. Donald hadn't made it yet, so he probably didn't even have a car. What you say, John Henry? My light skinness will not allow me to understand. I get it. You have to have a certain amount of melanin in your skin to really gain the discernment here. So what I need you to do is go get in that new sauna you just got and lay there for a minute. I need you to crisp up a little bit and then come back and holler at me. Take your Beats headphones in there and crisp up a little bit. And the darker you get, the more you will understand. Trust me. Trust me. I got a lot of light-skinned people. I think every single person in here is light-skinned today, except Brother Bridges. Except, brother, he's the only non-light-skinned person in here. Oh no, I saw D. Riles in here. Yeah, so I got two chocolate brothers in here. The rest are light-skinned. But I got some discernment in here. I get it. I understand. But I'm just gonna go back just to where she was at the beginning, so y'all can hear her say "we" without me saying anything.
Do you support reparations for Black people?
Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination and segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the Lift Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners.
She couldn't even really get her words together. And this is her in the midst of a campaign. This stuff should have been rolling off her tongue like butter. But she couldn't even get the lies together to be able to make people believe what she was saying, even though we knew it was lies. We knew the Lift Act was going to be nothing. The Lift Act was not going to lift us. All tides do not lift all boats. Or what is it? Rising tides do not lift all boats. If it does lift our boats got pinholes in them, termites in them. We ain't got all the planks on our boat. Do we even have boats? We got inner tubes. So when she talks about that rising tides lifts all boats, that shit don't work. Most of us ain't even got a boat, and most of us can't even swim. So it's crazy to hear stuff like this. That pie in the sky stuff was not good. It didn't work with Obama, and it wasn't going to work with her, and she wasn't even as fluid. At least Barack Obama was a great speaker. He's a great orator. I mean, I'm talking great. I have to give the brother that. Y'all know I love people that can talk. But she couldn't even talk. That is another thing that let me know she was not a black woman. And this right here, I just learned this reading this. The biggest thing Mamala did was piss me off was when she tried to float the story that she was a little girl who bumped into Dr. King in a protest. This heifer tried to attach herself to King's legacy, like Bernie Sanders. Everybody thought that dude in the horn-rimmed glasses was Bernie Sanders in the protest for years, and then we found out that it wasn't Bernie Sanders. Now we ain't seen no other picture with Bernie Sanders and Martin Luther King since. Everybody thought that picture was Bernie Sanders for years, a white, tall dude with black horn-rimmed glasses, and when it turned out that it wasn't Bernie Sanders, ain't nobody said nothing about no picture with Bernie Sanders and Martin Luther King since. I want to see the protest that she was even at. I bet she was never even at a protest with Martin Luther King, let alone bumped into him. You know, they did that stuff. She said that. Bernie did that. Then they had her looking like she was walking like Ruby Bridges and all that stuff. They tried to attach her to our legacy so much. How come y'all don't come over here with all y'all legacies? How come you don't come over here with Jamaica and India with a whole bunch of legacies? How come Barack didn't come over here with a whole bunch of Kenyan legacies? Because they don't have any. Their legacies are our legacies. And our legacies are because we are American freedmen. For me, it was funding and covering for a genocide. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Fruit rings and corn. It's still Fruit Loops and Corn Pops. Take your pick. Fruit rings and corn nuggets are not Fruit Loops and Corn Pops. I'm sorry. And I've seen them loop-de-loops too. They got the Fruit Loops and the fruit rings. No, they got loop-de-loops too. And Corn Pops, I've seen snaps and I've seen pops too. I've seen like 4 or 5 different knockoff versions of both them cereals. He said corn nuggets. you're all right. You're on punishment. You're on punishment for a couple posts. I heard she was bumping Tupac when she met Dr. King. Yeah, and she was sitting in the back seat smoking a joint with Tupac with Snoop at the same time. Yeah, she was listening to Tupac when she was rolling with Martin, and she was puff passing, and you know they said Ralph Abernathy, he used to like to hold on to the blunt a little bit too long. And then Andrew Young would have to let him know, Ralph, you got to give up the blunt. You know, got to give up the blunt. They act like Martin did smoke, but Martin did smoke. But you know, Martin liked to hit the bong. He didn't like smoking. You know, Martin was kind of uppity. He didn't like smoking joints. He liked to hit the bong. Corn Pop and T-Bone. You know where Cory Booker at? There is no white America. There is no black America. Yeah, I know. There's a people of color America. You know, she was never around Dr. King. Look, Free, this is her story. Let her tell it. This is her story. You let her tell it. You let Kamala tell her story. Ski-wee. Ski-wee. But here's what sealed her fate. As we know now, it's what really sealed her fate.
The disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. Because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right?
Right?
What did you say, nigga?
That's all I can say. I mean, after 8 years of Barack, then she tried to run and didn't make it. Then 4 years of Kamala. I mean, that's all I can say.
What did you say, nigga?
Because here's the thing. We know 8 years of Barack didn't work. We know 4 years of her being the vice president didn't work. Then another failed campaign to run for president. It's all it was about was doing their job, and they couldn't do their job.
Negroes, do your duty.
That's all we needed for them to do was their job.
Negroes, do your duty.
Why couldn't they just get in the paint and do their job?
Negroes, do your duty.
Because they're not us. They're not us. They're just not. And I must agree with you, Brother St. Charles. She was upset. She was distraught, tore up from the floor up. First, the Fat Boys break up. And she sat around waiting for that next Fat Boys record, and then they just start dropping off. Human Beatbox died, then Prince Marky D died. The only one living still is Kurosky, and he can't sing all three parts. He don't know how to beatbox, and he too dark to be Prince Marky D. See, once you lose that light-skinned dude in the group, the whole dynamic of the group changes. So y'all have done some good things in society. Prince Marky D was a good dude. Heavy D was a good dude. You know, y'all have had some good people in society. But we're going to keep it pushing because I got to keep it moving here. I got some things I got to do. As a matter of fact, I got delayed in my mission. I got a text message, so I'm pushed back a little bit. But I want to check on Lulu, make sure she's good. And I think she is good. You said this BS is messing up my workout. I'm not sure why you're trying to work out. You need to be in that sauna cooking. We need you dark in these winter months. Okay, mess around. Mess around and get too light here in these winter months. You already know what they're doing out here. Don't call me if they pick you up. You know you get too light. You will look like a Puerto Rican out here. Don't get picked up at Sam's Club. I'm trying to tell you. Do not get picked up at Sam's Club. We won't hear from you till Tuesday. We said it's time for you to sign off. You make sure your IP address and everything is solid. You don't need them finding you. I'm trying to tell you, you're getting a little light here in these winter months. All right. So this last situation, this last situation, I'm having a good time, but we got to get up out of here. What we've been on here? Been on here 57 minutes. I'm going to get out of here by hour 15. I'm going to be out of here by 75 minutes. Real talk. Be out of here by 75 minutes. And then me and Lulu got to figure out the rest of our day, make sure our day is going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. All right. He said, I'm trying to lighten up. So I just can't. You're never going to be clear. Okay. That whole situation is for a faction of people that you're never going to be. You're never going to get clear. So you better just try to keep a little melanin in you. All right. I need you wearing your hat backwards and your pants sagging a little bit. All right. And be out here talking loud. Be talking loud. If they detect you, that you're trying to be sneaky and they don't hear you talking, they might wrap you up. So be out here talking loud. Let them know that you are an English speaking black man. You come out here with a little accent. Okay. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm here to help. Okay. I'm here to help. I'm just a villager. Jasmine Crockett doesn't pass the brown bag test. And I don't know her history. And them wigs really give me pause. But I know a lot of sisters who wear them wigs too. So, but I've always felt like Jasmine might be from somewhere in the Caribbean. I don't know. I ain't really done a background check on Jasmine. I just don't like none of that sister girl stuff. So it was an instant turn off. So I never did anything. Appreciate the likes on the videos. And I have to go to this, but you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to come on up. Well, we're moving on up. I'm going to come up. So, yeah, them wigs take me out, free. Them wigs take me out. Them lace fronts and them zip ups and all that stuff, that takes me out. I like natural hair. I don't care if you got a spoonful of hair. If it's natural, it's yours. I'm good with it. But don't come up here with no wig that's all messed up and them big parts, them big finger width parts. How you got a part in your hair and that thing is the width of your finger? That ain't no real part. That ain't no God-given part. When you part hair like that, it don't part and then you split it down the middle and then it parts one way. You can put your whole finger in it and you ain't touching no hair. That ain't no part. Ain't no part at all. What you talking about? Them wigs be doing that. Tell you, the person is able to make a wig that has a real lifelike part in it, they'll make $1 billion. They'll make $1 billion. If you can make a wig that's got a lifelike part in it, not them parts that be like 2 inches wide, them parts be crazy. It looks like them lines you used to have back in the day in your hair, you know, when you was, oh, good Lord. She got that quick Harlem Nights finger wave. Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, I had to come up here, man, because this here, because it's local, it's in the village. Sharon Moore is the biggest tragedy that I've ever known in my lifetime dealing with Michigan football. Yeah, we've had a lot of losing seasons, and that's going to happen, and I couldn't care less about that. And we've had a lot of things happen with a lot of different black players through the years, you know, former black players, and that's going to happen because that just happens. That happens with anybody. It doesn't just happen with Michigan, but it happens with anybody. But when this individual was elevated to become the first black head coach of Michigan, I thought he was black. I thought he was an American freedman. I was under the guise that he was literally an American freedman. I had no reason to go back and check his background. His name is Sharon. I figured, you know, if his name is Sharon Moore, he had to be black. Then I found out he was from Kansas. I was like, okay, he's from the middle of America, from Kansas. I left it alone, man. I just left it alone. Never did no digging. But ever since his fall, ever since his firing, ever since he decided to break into that young girl's house and grab them butter knives and kitchen scissors and tell her, I'm going to kill myself and make you watch, my blood is on your hands. That let me know right there he was not an American freedman. That let me know he was not a real black American. That let me know he was not a descendant of American chattel slaves. We don't even say shit like that. I ain't never heard an American freedman say, my blood is on your hands. My blood is on your hands. If you hear a black man say, my blood is on your hands, he's telling you, go wash your hands because my blood is literally on your hands. He is never going to say, my blood is on your hands. No black American says that. We don't say things like that. He up in her house like Shakespeare. I'm going to kill myself. My blood is on your hands, madame. What kind of shit is that? What kind of craziness is that? But it is what it is. Because he's down, we're here, and I'm going to talk about it. What killed Sharon for me, after I learned all these things, I found out he said something that was the most detrimental thing that he could have ever said. And he probably never had the real respect from anybody who knew this. See, I didn't know it. I didn't know it until recently. And I'm going to play it. It's going to come through Siri because I had to record it because I didn't want to have to keep playing it, saying it myself. But this is what Sharon said. This is what Sharon said, and it lets me know right here that he is indeed not an American freedman, not a black American, not an African American. He ain't us. He's from Trinidad. And this is the type of thing that an individual from Trinidad, by way of Derby, Kansas, with a population of 25,000 people and only 200 blacks, says.
I don't see color. My wife is Caucasian. My kids are mixed. I deal with black, white. I've lived in Kansas, where you can be in the house with the door open at 12. And in New Jersey, where you have to be in the house by 6 o'clock. I've seen all cards of the spectrum. Color. My wife is Caucasian. Really? I don't see color. My wife is Caucasian. My kids are mixed. I deal with black, white. I've lived in Kansas, where you can be in the house with the door open at 12. And in New Jersey, where you have to be in the house by 6 o'clock. I've seen all cards of the spectrum.
What did you say, nigger?
I don't see color. My wife is Caucasian. My kids are mixed. I deal with black, white. I've lived in Kansas, where you can be in the house with the door open at 12, and in New Jersey, where you have to be in the house by 6 o'clock. I've seen all cards of the spectrum.
You see what the problem is now? You see why he is no longer the head coach of Michigan football? I mean, to hear this.
I don't see color. My wife is Caucasian. My kids are mixed. I deal with black, white. I've lived in Kansas, where you can be in the house with the door open at 12, and in New Jersey, where you have to be in the house by 6 o'clock. I've seen all cards of the spectrum.
I've seen all cards of the spectrum. Yes. Yes. Hey there. Hi. Hold on a sec. I got a guest, y'all. Hold on one second. Pull it all the way up. Pull it tight. There you go. You in there. How you doing? Good. Come in. I had to tell everybody that you were here. You say hi? So this is what's going on. So just so you know. Zania had to get her hair braided. And it's taken a little longer than anticipated. So that's why we're just waiting for Mr. Damon to call. And then as soon as he calls, then we're going to get up out of here and head on over. So that's what it is. Okay. How are you doing? You've been watching your shows, playing games. And I know it's a little longer than what we're supposed to do, but Grandpa's going to get out of here. You see that says 1:06? By 1:15, I'm going to be done. So if you want to hang out here, you can go back and get your phone and then you can sit in that chair, or you can give me 9, 10 more minutes maybe, and I'll be done. And we're going to come up and figure out our day. And Mr. Damon says that we can come on over and do our thing in a little bit. We'll do that. And then if he says it's going to take a little bit longer, it might get a little bit too late for us, figure something else out. Okay? So what you doing? Okay. You want to go watch your show, or you want to come back here and sit in the chair with Grandpa? Go up there. What chair? This chair? The spinning chair?
Yeah.
The big chair?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a chair. I mean, I used to sit in that chair until I got this chair. Yeah. Oh, you like that chair? So what I'm going to do is next week, because you see that one? There's a one over there. That's the one I used to sit in. It's because it's got the see how it's kind of worn off on the top? I used to sit in that one, and then I brought this one down. So I'm going to bring this one in and put it over here, and then we'll have that chair over there, and then I'll switch probably between back and forth. But I want to have a chair for you and Caleb, because we're going to do some videos together. Okay? Because you got your mic, and then he's going to have his mic. You remember he found another mic? We're going to all have our own mics. Yeah. Remember the blue mic? There's a blue mic somewhere over there. Well, yeah, we'll get it all together. They can hear it. You just can't hear it. Yeah. So give me 10 minutes. You eat your popcorn? You eat your chips? You drink your juice? All right. You want peppermint? That is. That was Auntie Via and me at a basketball game. And then she gave me that picture for Father's Day present. It says, you don't need to be someone's superpowers hero. And she made my name into a Superman symbol. Yeah.
Where's Daddy? What is that?
Where does it say? Where?
Bird.
It says birthday. Oh, yeah, it was my birthday. It wasn't Father's Day, it was my birthday. Well, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Because it's magic. Don't touch it because I don't want your finger to get clapped up in there. Okay. So give me 10 minutes and I'll come on up. You know who this is? That's your great grandma. It's my mom.
Where's my great grandma?
She passed away. She died long time ago.
No, I mean, where's she on the picture?
This right here. That's her. That's me. That's me. That's me. That's me.
No, it's not.
I'm telling you. You don't think it's me? Oh, so this is Uncle Kobe. You've seen him before, right?
No.
Yeah, you've seen him before. All right. Give me 10 minutes. That is Caleb. He's smaller than you. He's smaller than what you are now. You weren't here yet. Yeah. All right. 10 minutes. It's overwhelming. Who's that? Now I know who you know. Who's next to mommy? Over that other side, right there. Go. You being goofy. Right? It doesn't look like me? Because I was a little younger. I was like 7 years younger. Yeah, that's why. All right, give me 10 minutes. I'll be upstairs. Auntie Frida said, "Hey, Lulu." She said, "Do you feel better?" She does. She does feel better. Uncle John said, "Hey, Lulu." All right, I'll be up in a minute. All right. So, Sharon Moore made everybody feel like he made me feel. He made me feel like he's a black man. First black head coach. I mean, I was there. But then a couple things after seeing him become the coach. I wasn't so really into the whole thing about him crying. I realized he was emotional and all that stuff. And some men have that vein. I get that. What I was most concerned was he so involved in it and not his own man? And I found out through his short tenure, well before his fall, that he was not his own man. He was not genuine. Okay? He was not genuine. He was not original. And the one thing that I know about black Americans, African Americans, if you will, American freedmen, is we have the originality that everybody wants. We are the flavor to savor. The one thing about black Americans, we are the culture that everybody comes for. My biggest problem is that we've never taken it serious enough to not just be the culture, but we want to own the culture. We should own the culture if we are the culture, but we don't own the culture. We just create the culture and everybody else makes money off of it. It is what it is. Sharon Moore got that position, and he had already been having an illicit affair with the young girl that he ended up hiring and making his executive assistant. Just bonehead moves after bonehead moves. My thing was, if you never give her a job, he's still coaching Michigan today. If Sharon Moore never gives that girl a job, he's still coaching Michigan today. The fact that he made her his subordinate, his executive assistant, was diabolical. Are you that dumb? Are you that dumb to make somebody you are sleeping with? Are you that dumb? All you had to do was coach football efficiently and put great coaches around you who would help recruit great players, and you can do anything you want to in this little small town. That's all you had to do.
Negroes, do your duty.
But instead, you got that job. You got that job and you went nuts.
And where are the white women at?
I couldn't even believe it. When they told me that he was actually having the affair prior to, I was like, okay, I get it. They was already linking. They was already sneaky linking. Him up here with a whole ass family, a wife and 2 kids, and ended up having a third. They was sneaky linking. Okay. Stay with the sneaky link. And I'm not telling nobody to cheat on no woman. I'm not telling nobody to cheat on no woman. I'm not telling no woman to cheat on no man. I'm not telling nobody to cheat on nobody. But if he had just kept her as a sneaky link and not made her his executive assistant, he would still have a job. The fool made her his executive assistant. Mistake number one. You can say mistake number two, he shouldn't have been sleeping with her. But let's just say that's mistake number one. You made her your executive assistant. At that point, now you stop sleeping with her. Gave her a good job, about $58,000 a year they said she was making. And then it got crazy because this year he gave her a $32,000 raise. Now, I don't know what she was doing to Sharon Banfield to give her a $32,000 raise. Paige must got some good cookie. She was making $58,000 and he gave her a $32,000 raise. And Ward Manuel signed off on it. Really? So people act like Ward Manuel's clear of this, and I know people like Ward Manuel, and they say Ward Manuel's a friend, and they buddies, and they hang out with Ward. I don't give a fuck. If Ward Manuel signed off on a $32,000 raise for an executive assistant who was already making $58,000,
And where are the white women at?
I think Ward Manuel must have something going on. Maybe Sharon had some dirt on Ward. Did Ward got a sneaky link? Ward got a sneaky link?
And where are the white women at?
Maybe he thought like, you know what, Ward, you don't give her this raise. I'll tell everybody about your girl. I'm not saying Ward did nothing. Not even saying that. But why would he sign off on a $32,000 raise for an executive assistant who did not move positions? She did not acquire more duties. Well, maybe she did. Maybe Sharon had her doing some more stuff. She was already the sneaky link. I don't know what else he could have had her doing. But all he had to do was his job.
Negroes, do your duty.
And he didn't do that. Not well. Wasn't focused. DM and Instagram models during games or practices or whatever. I don't know, whatever's been founded. Plan B getting door dashed up to the Schembechler Hall. Come on, man. It gets worse. It just gets worse. It gets worse. But the main thing that Sharon Moore wasn't was a black American, because we don't do things like this. If we're going to fuck up, we fuck up in a whole kind of way. I look, we are not beyond fucking up as black American men. But what he did, uncalled for. Totally uncalled for. And we don't make these kind of mistakes. $6 million a year? Oh, no. Now, look, we might have had 20 side pieces. We might have got this position and had 20 side pieces. But they wouldn't have been working up at Schembechler Hall. You ain't going to come in here messing up my money. I'll meet you down in Briarwood. You got something to say to me? I'll meet you down in Briarwood. A black man, a real black man, wouldn't have had his woman in Schembechler Hall. In Schembechler Hall parking lot. Wouldn't have had her over there at Yost Ice Arena. He just said, meet me at Briarwood. You want to talk to me? Meet me at BW3's on Boardwalk. As a matter of fact, go to the BW3's in Ipsy. Don't even go to the BW3's in Boardwalk. Go to, Sharon was walking around campus with his girl. On campus, on camera. Black American men don't do that. But Tethers will.
Negroes, do your duty.
So I want to end this because I got to end this. Y'all know I've been infiltrated. Lou came up in here and said, it's time to go. Lou is my producer, and she told me it was time to go. So she told me she'd give me 10 minutes. I'm going to take my 10 minutes, and I'm going to scale it down right here. And this is for Brother Campaign. This is absolutely for Brother Campaign. Just because you're from the diaspora, just because you're from the Caribbean, just because you have melanin in your skin and you are not from here, does not make you a tether. It absolutely does not make you a tether. Because if you ride with America, especially black Americans, hold on one second, Natty's letting me know she's leaving. Okay. ... I've been dealing with Lulu, and she knows I'm coming up in just a bit. Period. Be safe. Just because you're from somewhere else or your family originates from somewhere else, that does not make you a tether. If you ride with America, if you acquiesce with the American standard, and you don't go against us, you are absolutely not a tether. See, a lot of people just say people that are from other territories are tethers, and that's wrong. That is factually and fundamentally wrong. And fundamentally and factually wrong. I never know which one of those go first, because I'm not a scholar. Okay. Y'all know me. I'm not a scholar. I just read a bunch of shit and I just watched a bunch of shit. So I know a bunch of shit, but I ain't got no degrees. Okay. I ain't got no degrees. Only degrees I got is the 3 degrees. We want the 3 degrees. Well, Sharon better go back to school and get him a couple more degrees because he's going to need some more elevation credentials because he's never going to get the type of money that he ever made in Michigan. He's never, ever going to make $6 million a year as a football coach again. His height was here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. He'll never make $6 million again ever in a year as a football coach. He'll never coach at a program as storied, as powerful as the University of Michigan. He'll never have his hand on the pulse of a university. The football coach is literally one of the most powerful people at a university like Michigan. And he was that. But he'll never get it again. All because he couldn't keep his pants up. And for everybody that never saw that video, keep your pants up, pull your pants up, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You'll understand what I'm talking. That's where he needed to be. He needed to go to Briarwood. He did all that business in Schembechler Hall. He should have been down at Briarwood messing around. He shouldn't have been up in Schembechler Hall messing around. Then got the girl an apartment over there in the place where all his players stay. How you got your side piece staying where your players stay? They seeing her come and go. They seeing him come and go. This is not something a black American man would have did. She's your executive assistant. First and foremost, you stop sleeping with her. Then you want to set her up, buy her a house. Just in case she try to say something, but you never sleep with her again, you got her taken care of. Then have her sign that NDA and you keep it moving. No, he gave her the job and kept sleeping with her. Fate sealed. The first time he had sex with her after he gave her the job, he was done. He was done. He wasn't done just this past December. He wasn't done then. He was done when he gave her the job and decided to sleep with her one more time. He could have slept with her up until the time he got the job and have been like, you know what? Deuces. Or you take this job and deuces. But we can't do it no more. He's safe because she was never his subordinate and he could have never been held responsible for having a relationship with his subordinate. But since he couldn't keep his pants up, since he came into town and said, woo, wee.
Hey, where are the white women at?
That's what you get. You had one on your arm and you came looking for more.
Where are the white women at?
Sharon Moore had a white woman that he had married and had 2 kids with by the time he got to Ann Arbor, Michigan. And the first thing he did when they elevated him to head coach at the University of Michigan, one of the most powerful storied programs in history.
Hey, where are the white women at?
That was the wrong thing to ask, bruh. That's the wrong thing to ask. I know a lot of people just want to blame Paige Shiver because she's an opportunity. Man, her daddy a pro football scout. She got bread. She financially fit. She don't even need this job. She could have went somewhere else and got a job. Might have been able to go to one of the NFL franchises and do the same kind of work. No, she was here for a reason, but it wasn't just to trap him. Who knew he was going to be elected to coach? So all that craziness is out the door. This is Sharon Moore's fault. Sharon Banfield Moore's fault. And that's that. And that's that. Don't come for a job and go do something else.
Negroes, do your duty.
So, I'm going to get on up out of here. I'm probably going to come back up later once we get loose, settled down. And once we do, we're going to talk about ownership. And I'm going to take a whole another place with it when we talk about ownership and what it means for us to own. Not just be on, but to own. See, a lot of people just want to get put on. Ain't nothing wrong with getting put on. Getting put on is a good thing. Absolutely. Get put on is a good thing. But There's a difference between getting put on than put on. Understand me. Y'all know I'm about the words. Do you want to get put on or do you want to get put on? O-N or O-W-N. There's a big difference in that one letter. And it's not just in my mind. It's just not. But what we're going to do is I'm going to end this thing now because truthfully, I believe I said everything I needed to say about these three. Barack Hussein Obama, Devi Harris Imhoff, and Sharon Banfield Moore. The Trail of Tethers. It's the guise of Black Americans. Barack is not an African American, except he is an African and an American. Kamala Harris isn't an African American because she's from Jamaica and she's from India. Sharon Banfield Moore. His parents immigrated from Trinidad, Tobago. They are Trinidadians, Tobagonians. He's not an African American. And those who are do what they are. I get it. I get everybody thinks that they black and they want them to be black and they want to believe that they black, but they not black. And y'all going to have to start to learn to accept that. Some of these people are not black. Some of these people are not us. But y'all going to just keep believing what you want to believe because all you do is look at melanin. And Brother Gerard campaign is blacker than, I know, 30 American freedmen that I would not even give a chance before I gave Gerard campaign a chance. Gerard campaign came in here, said he's a Haitian tether. No, he's not. No, he's not. Nah, Gerard's down by law. And anybody that's tried to say some goofy shit about Gerard to me, I done gave him a face job every single time. Because they whack as fuck. They whack as fuck. Foley tried to say some shit about Gerard. Griff tried to say some shit about Gerard. And look how them play toy ass niggas are now. See, everybody that talks that blackety black shit don't be blackety black. But Gerard talks that blackety black shit and he's Haitian. So it ain't got nothing to do with being an American freedman. It's in your spirit. It ain't got nothing to do with you having a white wife. It's in your spirit. Because I know his wife, she cut a smile in y'all necks too. Mess with her, mess with his kids. She cut a smile in your neck just like Ray would cut a smile in your neck. You ain't got to have melanin in your skin to be down by law. But I understand it. But I'm gonna take everybody home with the theme song that I have created. Well, I didn't create it. It's the front porch crew created it. And this is for the Tethers. The main three that I talked about today, Barack, Kamala, and Sharon. Y'all know. Y'all know what it is. Those who have been with me for a while, y'all know what it is. And y'all know why it is. Y'all be good. I'll be better.
Some of you niggas ain't real. Some of you niggas ain't real. Some of you niggas ain't Some of you niggas ain't real.
One love.